Hey, it's Friday with DJ and yet some more lovely guests in addition to yourself, DJ. How are you today?
I'm blessed. How's Brent?
Hey, I'm great. You know what? They say when you wake up and you reach out and you don't feel the sides of a coffin, it's going to be a good day. So I'm having a great day. Who have you got here today?
Got Bailey and Andrea, and they're with Refugee Services of Texas. They are our clients, they're our sponsors, but what a wonderful relationship we've already had this year. And they do so much. And then the more that we know of what they're looking for, then that helps us to find it. But um, Andrea, why don't you explain, like you did to our Kiwanis Club, about your organization so that it's kind of finite in our heads?
Yeah, so our organization, we are a refugee resettlement agency. We are one of the two located in Amarillo. And so we completely do refugee resettlement. So we go from the very beginning of the process. In order to be a refugee, they had to be fleeing persecution. They had to flee their original country of origin and go into one of the refugee camps around the United States. And so once they get the notice that they have been selected to come into the United States, then we are then notified that we have somebody coming. We are one of many, many resettlement organizations throughout the United States, but it is a very lengthy process. It does take many years. We get clients that have been here over 20 years and have never left a refugee camp, born and raised in refugee camps. So it's a very long process, a long vetting process. They all get vetted. They all go through health screenings and trainings, orientations. They go through a lot while they're overseas. They do come into the United States completely legal. So they are legal. They are ready to work. They can get their Social Security numbers, the date that they arrive and get off of the plane, and that we pick them up. And so it's just a lot of preparation that we do in order to service and help them. So during
Wow.
that time, once we get the notification, we then get volunteers to help. We get everyone together to start getting things and supplies that we need for these clients that are going to be coming. We do apartment setups and we get to do airport pickups, which volunteers get to be there for that too if they wish to do so. And then the work starts once they get here. So once they get here is when we have to help apply for those Social Security cards. We have to help get any kind of benefits that we're able to help them get assistance with. We also do employment. We refer for ESL classes. We do workshops. We do orientations. We do all sorts of different things, needing transportation, continuing with healthcare if needed. So we just really help them to become self-sufficient in the United States. So it's just a long, lengthy process. We also serve parolees, which are clients that come through. There's two different types of parolees now. Before it was mostly our Cubans, and Cubans would come through. They turn themselves in at the border. They're at the border. The judge then grants them parole status, and
Wow.
then we are able to serve them once they get that status. And only once they get that status. So they do have to go and apply for that. Then that makes them completely legal. So we're able to then also assist them in the same ways that we do refugees. And then more recently, than this past year, we started getting Afghan clients from everything that had happened in Afghanistan. So that was a little different situation. One of the first since I've been in resettlement, almost 19 years. This has been the first. And so it was a really big evacuation and a big system that had to follow after that and getting everything in line and in order to bring them here. And because of that situation, they weren't able to go to refugee camps. It was just an emergency evacuation. So the government decided to bring them in also under parole status. And so under that parole status, it did again make them legal. They kept them on the military bases until they can get them out to our refugee resettlement agencies. And then the process just started again the same way where we got the notification they were coming. We had to get everything ready. And so it's just a continuous process. And so now that that program is ended, we still continue to help them up to 5 years of being in the United States. And we continue having a preferred communities program, which is our PC program. And we can enroll anyone who's been here up to 5 years in the United States and be able to help them like more one-on-one with case
Wow.
management.
Wow. Well, Andrea and Bailey, we're honored to have you. And, I've worked with people fleeing persecution, boots on the ground in their own countries as well here in America. And your vetted legal immigrants are not only welcome, they're so many times some of the best citizens you can have. They learn the Constitution. Average American doesn't even know what their rights are. And it's just wonderful work. It has to be very rewarding.
People probably don't realize how long a lot of refugees spend in camps. The average wait time when you're a refugee can be anywhere from 9 to 20 years in a camp. So it's a very extensive process. It's very difficult for them, and it is really a beautiful thing to see a family that has been waiting that long come to this city and just be filled with joy when they get to see their own apartment, their own living quarters, and have things that are just theirs, because they don't get that for so many years. So that's really what we do for them, is we help them in those first stages after they've spent, sometimes years upon years waiting. So it is, it's hard to imagine being in that position, but also very easy to be empathetic towards that, because I couldn't imagine myself being in a position like that. So we help them totally change their lives when they get here, and they're always very appreciative.
Wow.
One of the things that whenever Andrea came and talked to our Kiwanis Club, I just learned so very much. Also, as long as she's been with this organization, she's gotten to see so many success stories with these people moving here, opening businesses, opening medical practices, being successful, but also training them on how to use things that we take for granted, just like a toilet. That really blew me away.
Oh, yeah.
And so this organization is a live wire in what they're doing. Very impressive. And we can help too. And just like with Welcome Partner, several months ago, our clients brought things to donate. And then afterwards, so one of our she's not a client yet, but she wants to be. She had some household furniture, and it was beautiful furniture, and she wanted to donate it, and this is where it went. So just to imagine the blessing that you get whenever you share what you've got, gently used or brand new.
Wow. There's nothing like living a life of contribution. When you serve others, folks, that's where the joy comes from. That's where the happiness comes from. It did for me. And DJ, you have this great business that I'm proud to be a part of with Welcome Partner. But, at the end of the day, we're helping people, and people help people who help people. Folks, you need to help both of these wonderful people with this. Now, where is the closest refugee camp to Amarillo?
Well, the refugee camps are actually just right outside of the U.S., so they're really right on the lines. So we have Thailand, we have there's many. They closed the one in Burma because there was one in Burma, but they have Thailand, they have Jordan. So there's just a few different that are open now. And so, and what's really sad is when these camps do close, they're not transported to the next one. They have to themselves make their way to the next camp, which could be hundreds of miles away. And they have to make their way to the next camp. So that has happened many times before. They had to completely set up again. We've heard stories in Africa, because there's also in Africa. So we've heard stories where they've had to, one of our own employees was in the Congo, and he had to go flee to another refugee camp because theirs had closed down. So they had to flee to the next closest refugee camp. And in there, he said he's with his brother and his sister-in-law who was pregnant, and she fully pregnant, and they get there and it was raining. He says he remembers it raining. She was crying. They didn't know what they were going to do. They had to build from just twigs and leaves and try to build them a hut that they can live at this new refugee camp, and trying to get her and his little baby sister in there where they could sleep for the night and get out of the rain. And so it's really, really sad situation. So these camps are really great that they are there to help and give them somewhere to go until they get into the, into the actual US. But it's still such a journey and so hard for them being in there and trying to make that living.
So just to clarify for our audience there, that these refugee camps are right outside of the United States.
Yes.
And the process is that from the camp, and by the way, you said you've been doing this for 19 years. Man, when did you start? When you were 10? When you were 5?
Yeah, that was my thought too. And
I know
they.
everyone thinks I'm younger than I am, which is great. I mean, but my son is already 22, so
Wow. Well, I'm 53, so I feel a little younger. You're as old as you feel, right? But so even outside of the United States, right outside of the United States, there's these refugee camps representing these different countries. And when one closes, they have to travel to the next one. Oh my gosh, what a harrowing experience. What's the most rewarding part for both of you in this process when you're helping these people enter the United States legally, but it's still quite a transition. What's the most rewarding part for you personally?
Oh, I think with mine, for me personally, would be seeing them years later. So I got the opportunity to get to see people that were resettled and years later get to see them again and get to see their kids in college, get to see that, as she said, that they bought a house, they have a car, they're doing really well. And to me, that, family is everything to me. So I think just seeing that they are succeeding and that everything was worth it to them, leaving everything behind really by no choice and going to wherever they are sent to be located to keep their family safe, and then they see that their children are succeeding. I know it's worth everything to them, because it is to me with my kids. So to me, that's the most rewarding.
Bailey?
Yeah. It's hard to pinpoint one thing, but I think seeing them become more confident over time in themselves and going to school and starting to feel empowered to change their lives, it's very rewarding to see that change. And it happens slowly. It's not overnight. So it is a process, like Andrea said, over time. And just seeing them take charge and become self-sufficient, and also seeing them give back, because a lot of times when they do become self-sufficient, they're very generous people and they love to share what they have now. We give them what we can when they get here, and then they often love repaying it. So that is a very rewarding, very sweet thing to see.
That's neat.
Fantastic.
Their quick story, if you don't mind. We just heard today about a family that just got together. The family had been here for 3 years. Sometimes they have to leave their children behind or leave parents behind. So they had to leave their baby behind, who was 4 months old. And they got here, and the baby is now 3.5. They've been here for 3 years, and they were just reunited. So, the volunteers that helped got to see that. The caseworker who was on the case got to see that. And it just really warms your heart. Like, it is just this bittersweet moment to see this, and you just want to do more. Like, you just want to do more. Who else can you reunite? Who else can you be there for? Who else can you help in any way? And so we definitely offer for anyone who wants to volunteer and be there and be part of it, or be a mentor, to join and help and get to
Fantastic.
experience that.
Another great organization right here in Amarillo, DJ. Wow.
They bless others.
You can't beat that, folks. To bless others, to be a blessing. That's the greatest blessing of all. Thank you so much, Andrea and Bailey, for what you're doing. And folks, the contact information is at the bottom of your screen. Help people who help people. You know what? There's a reason why America is a place where people come from all over the world. She's worth protecting, folks. She's still the greatest country on the face of the earth, and we ought to do our best to encourage people to take part in that freedom and to protect the freedoms we have while we're here.
Well, Brant, also they have needs for all kinds of, like toiletries, things like that.
Right.
But also, if your organization is looking for a good program, to learn more about this, again, contact Andrea about it. Bailey, could you tell us real quick some of the supplies y'all are looking for?
Yes, our hygiene closet is running low right now. We received a lot of great donations last year, but they're starting to run out. So we really, really need shampoo and laundry soap. Another thing we could always use is gift cards. We love to go grocery shopping for families Walmart gift cards are great. But the two big needs are shampoo and laundry soap. We also need diapers and other hygiene items. If you happen to have some, we would take any of that.
If you're going on vacation, everybody steals the ones in the room. Come back.
Right.
They don't need conditioner right now, but they need shampoo and lotion and stuff. So when you're coming back from a trip, there you go.
Yeah, talk about a treasure trove of people that need encouragement. I was thinking, man, where's the nearest refugee camp? Let's take some music and some food there, and some supplies and stuff. So grateful for you helping us with this awareness. And folks, again, make contact at the bottom of your screen. Get behind this great endeavor and yet another great organization, DJ.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll see you two ladies later.
Thanks, Brant.
Thank you.